Hello and welcome to Business Today. I'm Siddharth Zarabi and you're watching Easynomics. On today's episode of Easynomics, we take up the latest buzz in India's telecom space. And this is to do with the Adani Group announcing that it is going to participate in the auction for spectrum for fifth generation or 5G mobile services. Now, this has taken business and industry by surprise. It is a fact that the Adani Group has entered multiple sectors: airports, ports, logistics. They are even, selling edible oil, and they have power business. They're a very big conglomerate, which in the last 10 years, 15 years, has seen very sharp and rapid growth. In fact, in the latest list of billionaires, Gautam Adani is there, but the Reliance boss, Mukesh Ambani, is no longer in the top 10 list. But this is the first time that a new face-off in India's telecom, one of the biggest battles in telecom, is set to happen. And why is it so? The reasons are pretty simple. As you, me, and millions and hundreds of millions of Indians know, there are two very large companies which are fighting out in the Indian mobile space. One is, of course, Bharti Airtel, one of the oldest companies, a pioneer in this space, which actually started its first network in the mid-90s. You can imagine, it's well over 27 years ago. And then Reliance Jio, which started in 2010 by participating in the spectrum auction for 4G mobile services, and in the 12 years since then has built up a very impressive, very massive network across India. And then there is Vodafone Idea, which has gone through a lot in the last few years due to the financial stress in the industry. And Adani Group, which has also acquired the documentation to participate in the auction for 5G mobility, which begins on the 26th of July. The statement by the Adani Group makes one point very, very clear, and this is very important for us to understand and emphasize. That is, the Adani Group is not getting into consumer mobility services. They have no intention, as of now at least, to provide you and me mobile services. That is not their plan. What they're talking about, and this was a rule change that had happened in the run-up to the 5G auction, which is private captive networks. Now, as the word itself conveys, private is for your own use. Captive makes it further clearer that it is only for the use or captive use of that particular entity, and it's a private captive network. It is not a public network. It is not a commercial network. It is not meant to sell and provide SIM cards to the ordinary public. And this auction participation, the Adani Group has said in a statement, is meant for its own businesses. Across the wide gamut of businesses that the Adani Group operates in, they are saying that we need this 5G for our own internal communication. And by the way, this comes under enterprise communications and is a significant chunk of the revenues of telecom enterprises. So the big headline really at this stage is that Mukesh Ambani and Gautam Adani are going to come face to face in a direct face-off to fight for, to bid for the 5G spectrum, that auction starting the 26th of July. Now, both groups have in the past spoken about and entered businesses, including green energy, for example, although the Adani Group has not entered the core oil and gas business of Reliance Industries. And Reliance Industries now has three very large verticals. One is the traditional oil business, the second is the very large retail business, and the third is the very large telecom business. And in fact, Mr. Ambani has also made changes with regard to the Jio business. And now you will see a direct face-off between Gautam Adani and Mukesh Ambani. And what could be the motivation for Gautam Adani to go head to head with Mukesh Ambani in a business like telecom, which is extremely capital intensive. A lot of money is required for telecom. The license, the permit only to start a telecom business, the base price is 1650 crore. And then in an auction, you don't know how much you will have to pay for the spectrum. But on the 5G auction, it's very clear there are three different bands in an auction where spectrum worth around, by government estimates, of around 4.5 lakh crore is being put up to a bid for 20 years. Without getting into the technicality, there is one particular set of frequencies which is priced. It is like the best real estate you can find, whichever city, town that you live in across India. Think of the most expensive area in your city, the best and the most posh colony, and think of land there and compare it with land prices in the suburbs. That is the difference. One particular spectrum band could sell for a price that is relatively much lower than this very posh spectrum that I was speaking about. And that could be around 3,000 crore. Analysts believe the Adani Group is going to target that because that will make sense for its own private captive network. But the second bit is that once you acquire the spectrum, which means if you have the land, you can build a house on it, you can build a factory on it, you can do multiple floors. So that is the second set of expectations that people have, that if the Adani Group is successful in acquiring the spectrum as per its business plans, after a few years of doing enterprise business, the Adani Group could well decide to enter mobile services, to provide any service to anyone by acquiring that unified access service license for 1650 crore. Remember, without that license, the Adani Group cannot even offer one SIM card to anyone outside its own company and its enterprise. The rules are very, very strict and very, very clear in that regard. But even with that, there will be a hit on Mukesh Ambani, on Sunil Mittal, and the Vodafone Idea business, the businesses that these are run by these three groups. Why is that? The answer is very simple. In a mobile phone company's revenue, 40 to 45%, depending on the company, that revenue comes from large companies, from enterprises, from businesses. Voice is free for the consumer, SMS is free, data packs give you access to the internet, WhatsApp, you call for free on WhatsApp. So where does a telecom company make its money from? A bulk of the money is from enterprise solutions, and enterprises means connecting one factory with another factory in the same group, connecting a network of shops, your entire logistics chain, the cloud, the data centers, they consume humongous amounts of bandwidth. And with 5G, there will be Internet of Things as well, where machines will talk to machines. So that big chunk of future business is where the battle between Adani and Ambani is going to happen. This is what will be crucial in the 5G battle. So to recap, one, the Adani Group and Gautam Adani are going face to face with the big boy of Indian telecom, Mukesh Ambani and Jio. The face-off is for spectrum. We don't know what prices will eventually be settled, but expect that with four players, it is going to be a reasonably intense battle. The second bit is, while the Adani Group will start with a private captive network, it could very easily eventually enter consumer mobility by simply acquiring a license which is available on tap. There are no restrictions on acquiring a license. In fact, you can acquire a license. The restriction in some ways is on acquiring spectrum. So the Adani Group is first participating in the spectrum auction. It is going to acquire the spectrum, and then whenever it chooses, its business strategy pans out, it could acquire a license as well. In the ultimate reckoning, it's very clear that if we thought that Jio was the big boss of Indian Telecom, and so was Bharti Airtel, and these two were the big players in Indian Telecom. Now there is a third cash-rich, powerful business which is dipping into telecom. For starters, perhaps only through a private captive network, but who knows what the future could entail, because Mr. Gautam Adani's ambitions are very clear. He has, in a short period of time over the past couple of decades, built a huge enterprise with scale and with diversity in its operations in terms of the mix of businesses. So perhaps telecom could be one more new frontier for Gautam Adani as he faces off with Mukesh Ambani in the 5G spectrum auction beginning later this month, and I will keep tracking it and bringing you updates as that big battle pans out. And before I end today's episode, I'm going to request you to make sure that you like, subscribe, and share Business Today. Until we meet again, goodbye.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share, and subscribe.